Remember DeShone Kizer used to be a quarterback for the Browns?
Vaguely.
Vaguely. He's a backup to Aaron-Rodgers now up in Green Bay. He's got a pretty high expectation of himself. Let's see what he says here. This is courtesy of the Green Bay Press-Gazette. I don't see myself as Aaron-Rodgers' backup for the final era of his career. I see myself as a future Super Bowl MVP. That's the goal that I want to head toward, and that's the level that I want to play at. Therefore, if I'm competing and focused on on being the backup competition, then once again, I'm limiting myself. Now, what are the odds of that happening, that he actually becomes the Super Bowl MVP? Same chance you have and I have?
Shane-Bieber had?
Oh, Shane-Bieber has to be an MVP?
Well, he said, once again, I'm limiting myself. When was the other times that he did?
When he was with the Cleveland Browns.
He was limiting himself. Well, that explains a lot then.
Yeah, he figured, I'm going to throw the ball out of bounds. Yeah, that's what they expect of me.
I mean, that's got to be a lonely existence, being the backup to Aaron-Rodgers, unless he gets hurt.
It's that, and he's not the youngest guy in the group.
Right, yeah. But his, it's still a young career for him, but boy, talk about going from one extreme to the other, like from a...
It's hard to believe when it's time to get a backup for Aaron-Rodgers to replace him.
Yeah.
I can't believe that they would say, DeShone Kizer, that's the guy we want.
Unless they say, well, what are the odds we're even going to need this guy? We need somebody to be that guy until we actually need to use him. Then we might have to
we'll
go
find
get somebody
else.
Yeah.
And
he could be the placeholder for that.
DeShone, you have actually reached exactly the point that you limited yourself to.
Yeah,
You've limited yourself to be the backup to Aaron-Rodgers until we need a backup to Aaron-Rodgers.
Although there are guys who have made very nice and long careers, Josh McCown.
They don't get hurt.
Yeah.
Well, he does.
You don't get hurt very often when you're not playing.
Right.
But guys that you see guys like that in every sport that'll bounce from team to team to team and never play a lot or even much less be stars, but they exist for a lot of intangible reasons.
But you might have used the wrong example, because McCown was there, very willing and able mentor to young guys. Not many people are, because that's their jobs that are being taken away.
Yeah,
but I think McCown understood it from day one.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And those guys actually tend to be coaches of it when they eventually do retire.
Right.
So.
Yeah, a lot of talk about him being a coach here when it was all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, there's a bunch of guys. For example, we were kidding around about ESPN, but ESPN and Fox have a whole bunch of quarterbacks that weren't very good, but they certainly know the game.
Yeah.
And you can tell they couldn't play very well, but from you got a whole bunch of guys that you take what they have to say as gospel, and they're getting paid a lot of money in the business to do that. So